truth?
Oh, I'm all ears.
Okay. The truth.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Why do you find it so hard to believe?
Why do you find it so easy?
It's never been easy.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Hello and welcome to Truthful Talk. I am your host, Marco DeGeorge, and once again, I'm here with my wife, Samantha.
Samantha. Samish.
We love saying this, Samantha.
I do. I don't know. I got that from Crystal.
Really?
Yeah. Crystal one day said
Samantha.
Yeah, and it just stuck.
And then Megan was the one that said
Samish,
which we still use to,
I love
to this
Samish.
day, right?
Yeah.
Matchbox, we don't use it that much anymore. That came out in the Hammer era, Matchbox.
Mm-hmm.
We were using code names.
Yeah.
This is all theater stuff.
I do like Matchbox.
In the theater, we use nicknames, and I don't know why, but we do. And right now, I guess we're not in that phase anymore of using nicknames. Are we? No.
No, I don't think we have new nicknames.
All
I
right.
do like Matchbox as a nickname.
Well, Matchbox is a good,
Mm-hmm.
good
That's
handle
a good nickname.
for
Mm-hmm.
that.
But I do like Samish.
Yeah, and then Hammer was Chris,
Yeah.
and then who else do we have? I know Adam called me Zeus.
He did call you Zeus.
So yeah,
Although I think I'm going to start calling you Beaver.
wait. Well,
Because
why?
you're fluffy like a beaver.
I don't know how to take that.
They're so cute.
They are cute, but it's okay.
Actually, I might be a beaver because I build.
Well, they're cute when you see them like floating on their back.
Yeah.
In the water and stuff. They're just so chill. But they work really hard.
Trying to find a spirit animal for you.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Beaver? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe.
I do want to hug a beaver. You look so huggable.
Aw.
Yeah.
I don't know. They look fluffy, but are they?
I don't know.
Or do they have like coarse
I think they
hair?
have like straw hair.
Like straw hair.
I think they do.
Yeah, because because they look like they'd be so soft like a teddy bear, but I don't think they are.
And you are soft like a teddy bear.
Oh, I don't know where we're going with this, and I don't know how to take that. It's
You always want to be soft like a teddy bear.
yeah
For hugging?
for hugging.
100%. Who wants to
Okay.
hug a rock? How much comfort do you get hugging a rock?
I guess.
No, you don't
know.
get
Okay.
much.
All right. I guess I'll go with that.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm with you. I love my teddy bear.
okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'll take that in and process that, and then we can move on. So,
I'm like a squirrel.
oh, are you? Yes, you're
Right.
not only like a squirrel on the most ridiculous amount of cocaine, but you're also like the dog chasing the squirrel that's on the ridiculous amount of cocaine.
Oh my God. With a raccoon.
with a raccoon that's in there somewhere, just like on the sidelines chilling.
Like eating garbage. Okay.
All right. This is it's
Welcome.
welcome. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Yeah. And so a couple things. We are very close. We're a week away from opening our next play,
Yeah.
The Sunset Limited.
We
by
are a
Cormac-
week away.
by Cormac McCarthy, and this is our return to cinematic theater.
Whoop, whoop. Get it.
It feels, when we came back to Birds of North America, it felt cinematically just because of what we put into it. I thought the design was beautiful, and the visual design, the sound design, performance. I just thought the whole thing really was beautiful, which is why we're bringing it back again in the fall. But it was interesting, like thinking about, okay, if we were going to do that play cinematically, could we? Because our idea of cinematic is film level detail. Now, without using, we're also a theater. It's live. Like in film, if we were shooting this on a sound stage, we could green screen the background and add it in later. Or we could go on location outside and film it actually outside. But
thing
we're
with-
outside
Right.
doing a set. How do we do that without in our small space, unless the surrounding walls and everything were similar to what we did with Proof? It was the back of the home. And
Yeah,
they're
that's
standing
why-
like in a porch area, right?
Yeah, I would need.
We'd have to make it like it's the immediate outside of the house,
Yeah.
which is an interesting thought. I don't know how much it would change everything though, because the aesthetic of what you did was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Right, but to create like an outdoor while
Yeah.
we're indoors, I mean, I'd need to put grass, and then now I need like irrigation, like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah, we're just gonna
we can do that, right? Can't we do that? Come on, some like PVC.
I guess we could.
PVC. I put
How much
some.
needs irrigation? They don't necessarily have irrigation up north.
Well, no, I mean for the grass that we're putting inside of the theater,
Why would we need to put grass?
because we're
It's covered
outdoors.
in leaves.
I know, but there has to be some grassy areas.
Yeah, I guess there would be, wouldn't there?
Yeah, and if
Unless we did it like
and
Proof.
if we're doing cinematic, well, now I've got real leaves.
Unless we did it like Proof, where it was more of a decked area right out back. It didn't actually go into the grass yet. And we
Right.
still had the leaves covering the deck because it's not a covered, it's anyway, we're brainstorming here on the beginning of our podcast today,
Yeah.
but it is interesting. This is how we get into cinematic. We're like, okay, we're in a square box that's about 12 feet deep by 22 feet wide. That's what we have. Like it's
Yeah.
this rectangle, right? And within this rectangle, and it's also about 9.5 feet from the stage to the ceiling. Like that's our cube or rectangle or whatever we call it. And within that volume, we create cinematic. So if we were pointing a camera, if we were shooting a film, we want the camera to see it and feel like the environment for a film. So that's kind of our standard. And then from there, of course, it's done as a play,
Right.
but it bridges those two environments. So we sit and we think like, how do we do this?
So the back wall. So the back wall, right? I would have to completely put trees to cover that whole back wall to make it look like it's
If we were doing like a straight outdoor or something
Yeah.
like that. But if we were
it'd be
doing
a fence with trees, because
correct.
for the half black box, right? Cinematic
which I like,
black
cinematic
box,
black
right?
box,
We
yeah.
had a fence, right? It was the lattice, but then it goes up into the
Yeah.
velvet,
It was
curtains.
cinematic, like waist down.
right? Waist down, but
Yeah.
waist up, we had black curtains. Well, that
Which-
would have to turn into trees,
which-
and they would be real.
Yeah, which is we can't in our space.
You know, now I'm talking about really bringing trees in, and
See, theaters don't do this. Theaters are using prop trees and fake trees, and we do that because it's theater and it's make believe. For the most part, we do have sets, and the audience suspends disbelief when they come in. We don't do. We're a little more masochistic on
reuse,
ourselves.
reduce, and recycle.
Yeah, we use real things, and we just this blend that we've created is so interesting and so fun to do, but we have to think outside the box of theater
Yeah,
and think of, okay, let's pretend we're shooting a film, let's create it, and then let's show it as theater. And so that's why
I know my limits, though. Here's the thing: I don't want to get arrogant. I know my limits. During Proof, I was bringing real leaves, and I was putting them every single show.
Yeah.
Because they were, I was putting them in a very specific area. And then obviously they were very green, but then they were dying. And,
we had to change them out.
yeah, and allergies were
And then
coming up.
allergies were coming up, especially
And I
for
was
the
like,
actors. Yeah.
Man, humans and allergies, and why do we have to deal with this? It's messing up my
Your aesthetic.
my mojo. Y'all are messing with my mojo here with
Yeah.
your little allergies.
But that was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But we did create an outdoor scenario for Proof that felt very outdoor with our sound design. And that worked really well.
Yeah.
And it was floor to ceiling and the whole thing. And even the gate to the side over on stage left. I mean, we had this gate that was, like you would have in a backyard, you'd have a fence and it has a gate that someone walks through. We had that. And that was so well done and believable. And so we did accomplish it there.
Yeah. Well, here in Birds, I did have real plants.
We had real plants.
Yeah, and actually the tree that's up on the
And you
corner, that's a real tree.
Yeah, and downstage left, you had, that was a real tree.
Yeah,
that was a big one, too.
That was a huge one that I was pulling all the leaves off to make sure that.
No, but, and I think that's what I'm saying, though. I think what you did was the best design that we could do for that show. I don't know if there was a way of, let's say we were doing the show next, meaning not having done it before, and we're coming and saying, this is our next cinematic production.
Yeah, fully cinematic.
Would we choose to do it fully cinematic? Or now that we have cinematic black box, I think that's a nice option.
I think it's actually the perfect, for that show, I think it's great. I'm very happy with it. I don't think there's anything more I'd like to do with it. I'm very happy with where it's at.
Audiences loved the show.
Yeah.
I mean, we got review after review after, we got more reviews for that show than any other show, ever.
Yeah.
And, so I mean, the fact that audiences are loving it, it's like, well, if it's not broke, let's not.
It ain't broke, don't fix.
Right.
Yeah, I was very happy. I don't think I'd change anything about that set, to be honest.
Now, the Sunset Limited, we're back to full cinematic, which is so much fun. However, it's an interesting thing that we have because we're doing full cinematic for an exclusive limited run of 12 shows.
I know, which is crazy because
all we have are 12 performances of this play. So listen, come see the show. We have limited seating. We sell 25 seats per show. That's it.
That's it.
And there's 12 performances.
Come on.
Do the math. There's not many seats that are going to be sold for this run. And what I notice is that a lot of people were like, oh, okay, it's running through July. Oh, I'll wait to get my ticket. I promise you this is going to sell out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be easy. And we don't have tickets on standby. There's not like, oh, well, maybe I'll go and I'll see if there's any at the door. We're 25 seats. That's what we sell per show. That's it. Our theater's that small. And we don't have the ability to add one more or to get you in or, there is not. I mean, it's a very, very small theater. There's only 3 rows and that's it. And 25 seats. And that's what we have. So please make sure if you plan on coming out to see the show, please get your tickets early.
Right now, they're on sale.
Yep, you can get them right now. It's at Tote, T-O-T-E tickets.com, totetickets.com. That's the easiest way to go. You're laughing at me.
I'm laughing because I think I've told you. Have I told you that when you talk, you shake your head?
I shake my head like a bobblehead?
You do like a bobblehead? You go, get your tickets at Tote Tickets.
She's mimicking me by shaking her head like a bobblehead. So it's for those of you who can't see that because we're, this is radio. But yes, I guess I do.
It's so cute.
But totetickets.com, or you can go to theaterontheedge.org, O-R-G, and you can see all about it. But please, please, please grab your tickets early because this is going to be a limited run. It's a great show. Two amazing actors. We have Alan Whitehead coming back again. He is a staple of our theater.
Man's been doing some work.
Yeah, he's been doing some work and just amazing work too. And then also introducing Daniel Bentley to our theater. And we're so excited about that.
We love Daniel. He's doing great work.
The play, The Sunset Limited, is very timely, meaning there's a lot of the themes in it and discussions in it that have to do with what's happening right now, just in society and in the world. So from a cultural standpoint, sociological standpoint, it's very timely. The discussions at the same time are timeless. I think the discussions of, what happens when you die and is it important to lean on knowledge versus faith? And it's those types of things. We're trying to make it as fun as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like we always like to lean into the fun while telling a good story and giving you some good information, something to think about as well. So like the rest of our shows at Theater on the Edge, this fits in really well with what we do.
Yep.
So we're very, very excited about it. So once again, get your tickets now.
Yes. Fun show.
Like right now, go and just do that.
Like stop listening to us right now. Just
Press pause.
Press pause. There you go.
And then go.
Press pause. Go get your tickets and then come back. I'll just wait.
But we are very excited about this and the return to cinematic. And then, and of course, the next question is going to be, well, what are you doing next? I have no idea. Birds is coming back later in the fall. So we will be doing that. But as far as the next like cinematic play or what we're doing next, we really don't know. Unlike many theaters that will decide ahead of time, like for an entire season, what they do, we're a little different. We pick one play at a time. And the reason we pick one play at a time is we want our team to be really excited about what we do. And I've had the experience in the past of saying, oh, well, next year we'll do these 3 productions. And then, let's say it's 6 months, 8 months away, whatever we're deciding, and then all of a sudden as it's approaching, I'm no longer excited to do that production. For many reasons. Maybe it's no longer timely. Maybe there's something else that's come up.
We want to have the flexibility.
Yeah, we want to have the flexibility. And it's very important for me to have the actors I need to tell the story.
Right.
And not every actor, and this is for you actors out there, this is something to really understand. Not every actor is right for every part. So you're right for some part, and you're right. You're going to be good in there's a place for you, but this is where type comes in. And this is where, as a director, my subjective, which is very subjective, but my subjective opinion of what I'm trying to tell and how I'm trying to tell it comes into place, which is out of your control completely. And there's age range and things like that. And do these, if I need to put people together, like we did, for example, like with Say Goodnight Gracie, all 5 of them need to look like they went to school together and we're at the same age.
Yeah.
So, your actual age doesn't matter, but your visible type age really does matter. So there's things like that really go into play that are out of your control. And so when I'm trying to put together a play, and as I'm casting it, and thinking out, as I'm eliminating actors of who I don't choose, it's not based just in ability. Because, sometimes there are great actors that I don't choose just because they're not right for the vision I have for this play.
Yeah.
Now, you put in another director, they have a different vision, it could change completely.
Right.
It really is that subjective, whether it's in film or whether it's in theater, it really does come down to that. So, but part of what I want to make sure of when we select a play to put on stage is that I need to feel we have the actors that can bring it to the fullest extent of our version of cinematic theater or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a big thing that actors struggle with, like thinking, oh, was I just not good enough?
I think every actor feels,
why didn't they choose me?
why didn't they choose me?
What did I not do?
Or I could have done that.
Right.
And listen, it's not that you can't do that, but would the story be told as well to an audience? If let's say I cast you and you're a little too old for it. No, I know we don't want to think we're too old for stuff, right? It's like, we still want to think that, I'm kind of the same way I was when I was 20, which was decades ago. And I'm not. I can't play a 20-year-old. I can't play a 30. I can barely play a 40-year-old at this point. So it's maybe mid late 40s. But I, you know what I mean? It's you can't do everything that you maybe want to do, especially in film. Film is so type specific and it needs to be, because there's a realism that is being created. Theater sometimes has a broader...
There's a certain essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a certain essence, And so, and again, it does come down to whoever's directing too and their vision of it. But just know that most of casting is out of your control. There are some things that are in your control, but most are out of your control. And there are things that you shouldn't worry about. And it doesn't make you less of an actor. And, I think actors have this fear of missing out thing. Like they missed out on this opportunity, or, oh my God, I really wanted that film and I didn't get it. And to me, we have something that's posted in our studio, Trust the Timing of Your Life, where it's like, well, you didn't get this, but there's something else out there for you. And I always tell the story of both Alethea and Natalie, two actors that have been on our stage multiple times. And they both auditioned for tape.
Yeah, I was just thinking about tape. Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And tape was 3 people. It was 2 guys and 1 girl, and who went to high school together. And this is basically 10 years later. So they all have to look around
Right.
28 years old, and they need to feel like they go together.
Right.
It's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it is. And both Alethea and Natalie auditioned for that, and they didn't match up well
Right.
with Zach and Joey, who were the 2 male leads, and we had already cast the last one. The Amy character was the last one we cast, and so it's like there wasn't a good match. It just didn't feel.
We actually had several great actresses
Yeah.
that auditioned for that Amy role. I mean, wonderful actresses.
From an ability
standpoint, we had several.
Anyone
actresses.
could have done that role. So
Right.
if we would have aged up maybe the other 2 actors, or if we had different types going across the board, then maybe that would have worked.
Because we talked about that a lot. We're like, I mean, we have 6 or so that can pull off this role easy from an acting standpoint. But from like, do they fit with the 2 other actors? Like as far as chemistry and essence, like it just didn't work.
Right. And the thing is that we bring all of these actors in for a callback, but only one can get the part.
Right.
Now that's difficult, because let's say you have 5, 6 that ability wise are on like an equal playing field. Like ability wise, of course, they could pull it off. They could pull off the acting side of what's needed to do this and to do it truthfully. But to be believable from a visual standpoint, believable from an aesthetic standpoint, believable from these things that are intangible, we have to make a choice. And regardless of which way we went, if we're picking 1 out of 6, we have to turn down 5.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter which way we went. We had to turn down 5.
That's the very hard part.
That's a hard part on casting. And that's for all of you actors out there. Please understand, as a director, that is very difficult to say no to an actor, especially the ones that make it to the callback.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to tell you that we went in another direction. And really, that is the truth, that we do go in another direction, which means we didn't go in the direction of your type. It doesn't mean you're not a good actor. It means that we went in a different visual or aesthetic direction that you just didn't inhabit or can't inhabit because it's not part of your type. And there's many reasons for that, but for me, it's story reasons. It's, I need the audience to just get it, and I need it to feel right. And I need it to, like the trio ensemble, I need to feel exactly what it needs to be. But just know this is out of your control, and in no way means that you're not a good actor. It just means that you weren't right for this particular role. And I say that because 3 plays later, we bring back Alethea, still remembering what she did. I mean, it was, just knowing what she can do and everything else, brought her back without an audition, offered her the role of Claire in Proof, because that fit what we needed.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the person that got the role in tape was Megan Rotano.
Yeah.
And then she was doing Proof again, and Alethea got to work with Megan in Proof. And those 2 together were amazing.
Yeah.
And so it paired up.
Yeah.
And so then Alethea got her shot. Now, this is a year and something later, or like we did tape, and then so maybe a year and a half later or something. So it's a long time later. And as an actor, of course, you come out of the audition and then it gets cast and you're thinking, oh, well, I didn't get that and I've lost out. But no, as a director, I can say, no, I'm still thinking about you. if you do a good job in the room or do a good job submitting your audition and it's you're well trained and you're professional and everything else, I'm still thinking about you for later. You don't know that. But all of a sudden one day you'll get a call and say, "Hey, can you come in and audition for this?" Or, "Hey, can you read for this?" Or, "Hey, can you," all of a sudden that just happens. And then of course Alethea went on to do other things and most recently Birds of North America. Natalie was the same thing. Natalie, we had then brought back, was that at the play later?
Yeah, she went.
No, that was Gideon's Knot.
Gideon's Knot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Natalie was in that one.
Mm-hmm. And then Say Goodnight, Gracie.
And then Say Goodnight, Gracie after that, right? So I mean, so again, wasn't right for tape, but we never forgot. Like, we know what she's capable of doing. And then when Gideon's Knot came up, it's like, this is the person we need for this. We brought her in for a read just to make sure, because we were trying to pair people together. It was a 2-person play. And it was like, yep, this is it.
Yep.
So just understand that. And understand that, I know, listen, I know as an actor, you want everything. You want everything that you audition for. It doesn't work like that. Even at your best, you might get 1 out of 10, and that's fine. And it doesn't mean that you're not a good actor. But what I can tell you is we start increasing our percentage of booking, not just because we become better actors, because yes, your skill is important. Your process is important. Your training is extremely important. Going out and doing as much theater as possible is important. So improving your ability as an actor is absolutely important in the process. But outside of that, we also get better at knowing which projects to audition for.
Right.
Right. We understand our type more. And we understand that, it's like, oh, yeah, you're typed out of playing the teenager anymore. You're typed out of playing, or you're not old enough to play the parent yet, or you're not. So you stop. Early on, actors audition for everything, and rightfully so. Just for the experience, I'm like, yeah, just audition. If they'll let you audition. But there comes a point where you know your type, and yeah, this fits me. This fits my essence. I'm going to audition for it, and because you already know it fits your essence, and if it does, then yeah, you have a greater percentage chance of booking something because it fits your type.
Yeah.
So that's something that I just wanted to say because I know everyone, it feels like actors are constantly just waiting for their chance. I'm like, don't wait for it. Go and audition. Go keep doing that. Audition for everything.
Yeah, because you're still getting practice in. You're still getting better.
That's all it is, right? And we have to get better.
Right. You're just waiting for that moment where it just fits for what they're looking for. The vision. You're just, right? You're
Yeah.
just waiting for your type to be part of that vision.
And my vision is much different than many others. My directing style of theater, I lean into the drama. I lean into, and I say the drama. Yeah, I know, right? Me? Yeah. I lean into the extreme. I love deep emotion. So it's like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's versus another theater might lean into the farcical humor nature, like more of a surface level. They just want to entertain and have some fun, but they're not worried about the truth of it. And there's different styles of acting and different, as far as theaters and things like that go. Same thing with film. When I cast film, and here's an interesting thing. When I cast film, a little different than theater, I open type up much more. Because I can adjust a film script. I can't adjust a theater script.
Right.
Right. Because a theater script, meaning if we're putting on something like the Sunset Limited, I can't go into the Sunset Limited and change who these people are.
Right.
Cormac McCarthy wrote it very specific to this.
Right.
So, and when you license a play to put on stage for theater, part of that licensing agreement says that we will not alter it in any way. And if we need to alter it for some reason, we have to get written permission by the author or the estate before we do that, meaning changing any words, omitting anything. all of that. So, but in film, we can
There's
change
more
it.
lenience.
Well, right. I mean, if I wrote the character as male and you come in and
Yeah.
it's like, well, sure, audition for it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe the character is female. I could rewrite the script.
Yeah, you can change it.
So
Somebody can come in and surprise you.
you never know.
You're like, oh, I like them.
Yeah. So that's why in film, I say audition for everything
Sure.
because it's not as locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, in film, I'm always going to cast the best actor available and then adjust what I'm doing in the film accordingly. I mean, within a certain type, of
Yeah,
course.
sure.
I still need that, but I'm always going to do
Were
that.
we going off on a tangent? Was there a beginning to this, or was that?
Is there a beginning to anything?
No,
I don't
but
know.
you know what I mean.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Where do we start with?
I don't know.
I
You're
don't know either.
asking me.
I don't know. I just keep going.
Okay. I didn't know if that was a tangent.
To me, everything's a tangent of something else.
Mm.
We just started talking about Sunset Limited and the actors in it, and I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I just think it was a good topic because I get asked all the time
Yeah.
by actors and students, like, how do I get on that stage? I'm like, it's as if there's like a secret club or something to, it's like, oh, go to this door and use this password. And
You didn't get the passcode?
And
You didn't get the email? Damn.
And there's no easy way on our stage because we just don't do a lot of productions
Yeah.
per year. I mean, I wish I could do 100 productions per year and put everyone on stage. But through our classes, we have things that go on the stage. And so we try to do that. We try to have enough. We try to do a lot of presentations through our classwork because I think that's a way of performing and doing that. But as far as strictly through the theater, it is a little more difficult. Because when I decide what the next production is, it's going to be limited to those 3, 4, 5 characters, and that's it.
Right.
And then I got to choose. But what I can tell you is I immediately think about the hardest working actors.
That's what I was going to say. Because it's like, oh, but where are the auditions for Theater on the Edge? Every time you walk into class, dude, you're auditioning. Like, it's not like Marco doesn't know what you can do and you have to go and audition for him. The dude knows what you can do.
Yeah,
You're not going to surprise him with this like miraculous audition. I think it's more of, we always talk about like, are you cool to work with? You know what I mean? And then really, like what you were talking about, does it work for whatever it is, whatever play that came up and we want to do in that moment? Like, do we have the actors? We might come up with a play and we're like, we really want to put up this play, but we might not have the actors that work for that. And then we have to put that play to the side because we just don't have anyone that works for that. Like if we have plays that we've read that don't have the characters that we're looking for.
Correct.
Right. We know this.
I mean, we've brought Sunset to the table before, and it's like, we're not ready for that one yet.
No.
We brought Steak and I Gracie up a few times before we kept putting it back down before. I was like, you know what? I think we have the right collection of actors.
Right.
And it's not just, can the individual actor do it? So just, what Sam just said, which is very important, you're always auditioning.
Right.
And it's not that you're always just auditioning for me. You're, as an actor, you're always auditioning in front of anybody. Everyone you meet, every interaction you have is an audition. And so when you are coming to class, are you showing up? First of all, are you showing up on time, which is at least 15 minutes early? Because 15 minutes early is on time, right? Early is on time is late, late is forgotten. Meaning if you're consistently late, which if class starts at 7 p.m. and you're showing up at 7:02, 7:03, you're forgotten out of my memory if I'm thinking about putting on an actual film or an actual production. Because if you're not reliable for class, I cannot make that jump that you're going to be reliable if I
For rehearsals, right?
Right, for rehearsals or anything else. Or if you're, constantly absent or anything else, it's like, well, I don't have, I'm having an experience with you and you're not showing up all the time, or you're having things in life that are getting in the way. And it's like, listen, that's fine if you are. I'm not saying you can't have things in life that come up. But what I'm saying is I don't have the experience right now with you that I can trust that things won't come up for rehearsal or for the run of the show or
Right.
for, for the filming or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So every time you show up to class, that's part of the ongoing audition.
Right.
And it's not about the result of the work that you're doing.
Right.
It's not about, are you a quote unquote good actor or not? Because as we talk about in class, there is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong. It's about the effort you're putting in. Do you have a positive attitude about what you're doing? Do you give me a full effort in the exercise or whatever we're doing? Are you really going in there? And just how are you? How are you to work with? How do we work together? Do we get along? Do we all of these things go together? Because when we come in together to do a play, it's, when I cast Sig and I Gracie, I worked with that team for a year. It was 1 year from casting to closing of the show. That's a lot of time to spend together.
Yeah.
Right. So we better get along really, really well. And I'm not saying we need to be best friends and go hang out but I mean, in the working environment of director to actor, we have to get along. There needs to be a respect and right. There needs to be creativity there. And
I would say for the students, are you putting in the work? Because you're working with these students every single day in class. But for example, when I come in and I watch a scene or something like that, I can tell who's putting in the work.
Yes.
Completely. Who's going home and who's really putting in the work. I can see who's putting in the work just in class when they come in twice a week. Right. I can tell that. And then I can see the ones that aren't putting in the work and are doing minimal.
Right. You can tell.
I can tell as an audience member.
Yeah.
Right. So just hear my words, people. An audience, we know it's a feeling, you can just tell. So Marco, as the instructor, as a director, he knows what he's dealing with. And we want people that are going to really, for me, and I'll speak as far as set design, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to work with you at set. I want to learn. I want people that are going to be by my side, that if I am, and because I in no way want to be I don't like micromanaging by any means. But I don't like when people half-ass. We've talked about this before.
Right.
So to me, it's so important to just love things. So if you're there, just love it. Right.
Right.
So if you're taking class, love it. Really go home and do the work, man, because then when you're actually doing the scene, if you're really in love with it, it's going to show.
Yeah.
Because if you're not in love with it, it's going to show.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
If you're apprehensive or if it's something that, when
nerves are fine.
Yeah.
Because we all are nervous.
Yeah.
Everyone is nervous, and that's fine. Nerves are okay. But when you half-ass things, or you can tell that somebody hasn't put in the work, it's because the love is not coming through to me. Mm-hmm. That's what I notice. It's oh, okay, they're just being lazy about it. They didn't put in the work. And that's what I don't want to work with people like that.
Right.
Because if we're in a rehearsal and we're having a discussion about whatever's in the play, and you just have somebody sitting there on their phone, you know how many other people are going to be wanting to be sitting there?
Right.
Hell no. There's so many more people that have a hunger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a really good example of that. And that's what I was talking about as far as getting along. It doesn't mean personally, it means professionally.
Creatively.
And creatively, can we, just what Sam was saying, if you're there and you're excited about it, I could get excited about it. Because I'm going to come in already excited about whether I'm teaching or directing or whatever it is doing. I'm excited. But if I'm working with a cast, even one person that's not, it pulls down the energy.
It's like when you're working with an actor that has been working for a long, long time, they're going to push you to work better, harder, right? Because you're working with someone that's challenging you. had this conversation in this past semester because we had an actor in this past semester that's been taking classes for a really, really long time. So she was working with beginning actors, and she's a very experienced actor. So because she was in a class with beginning actors, man, she was pushing these like they were like, yo, I want to fucking be at her level.
Yeah.
Right. So just the fact that she was in that class was making them work harder. So when you're with people, right, because she has that love, right, she made them fall in love. And that's my point.
Well, sure. I mean, when you see that, I love when our students repeat either Miser 1 or Miser 2, because when you have that element in there,
yeah,
it shows like, wow, look at what they're doing, and look at where I could go. And that's kind of like what I like to show the theater too, and have students say, listen, right now, listen, if you're in Miser 1, you're in Miser, 2, especially those where you haven't had that much experience to where this is going yet, you need to see the plays that we put up, because this is where the process leads. Only TA actors are on stage with us. Right. I did make that, when I first opened the theater, it was like, well, I think it's going to be a pure community theater where I'm going to open it up. And I just wasn't finding the work ethic outside of our studio. And we have such a large group of actors that are waiting to get on that stage.
Well, that's the thing. It's because we are like tied in, like there's a sister company, right? So we have a school. So why in the world would we not be casting our...
Well, and it's not
students.
that I'm not saying there aren't hardworking actors outside of our studio. They're all over the world, could have that passion. But, locally in community theater, you typically don't have the rehearsal process that we do, or the in-depth type of stuff that we do. We do it a little bit different because it's based off of the teachings of the studio, the conservatory level teachings. We go to a further depth of things. And I remember in season 2, when trying to cast outside and having people come in and, telling them the rehearsal schedule, and they're like, no, I can't do that. No, I'm used to rehearsing a couple times and then going on stage, or I'm used to doing, it's like, no, wait, we're doing something a little different here. We have an off-Broadway level criteria kind of standard that we're doing.
Well, that's because we're trying to teach our students that.
To work at that level.
Right, to work at that. If you want to work on Broadway, off Broadway, like this is what we're training you to do.
For me, though, I believe that all community theater should be aiming at that Steppenwolf level. They should be aiming at off-Broadway level. Why not? We do it. And we survive without a ton of big funding.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you look around, you see these theaters that are well-funded from sponsors and corporate sponsors and things like that. And you look at it and like, well, why? How are they not able to put in that extra work, anyway, that's a tangent, but it's
It's because they've got the round table
Of the sponsors.
Yes, but
That's the tangent.
what? So what do you mean by that?
Well, they have the people. This is why we don't have the table.
Oh, you're like the board of directors.
This is why we don't have a board of directors.
A corporate sponsorship
Correct.
board of directors that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because
then we have right, the board of directors that say you have to put on 10 shows a year, 10 to 15, 20 shows a year, and they have to be of this category, and they have to fit this sector of people, and they have to please these, our standards of this and this and that, and then there's this whole criteria, and that's why.
Right, because our board is in line with our philosophy versus getting, because you can, right? You can go as a nonprofit and say, I want to get, I don't know, some big corporate sponsorship. I want to get Disney or Advent Health or whatever as part of our board, because they bring a lot of money as well. But then there's oversight to what you can
with a lot of money comes a lot of demands.
Well, and look, I don't have a problem with the demands. The demands, I guess, are really going to be what you put on stage and what you don't.
Right.
So yes, that would cut us off at the knees completely to what we do.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the quality. I struggle. Now, listen, I'm not talking about every theater out there because we have some good theaters locally all throughout Central Florida and some good directors, great actors. I mean, we have a lot of good things being done, especially in the musical theater side. Musical theater is really well done across the board from Melbourne, Titusville, and then all the way through Orlando and across to the West. But in straight play productions, right, like regular plays, non-musicals, I notice a lack in, like, it doesn't seem like they're putting the effort into casting. It doesn't seem like they're putting the effort into set design. It doesn't seem like they're putting the effort just into tech design, storytelling at its fullest level sometimes. And I wonder, like, if we could do it at our small level, why not? And I agree.
Well, I think
when we fall into the board of directors and saying, oh, we need to do 8 productions a year instead of 6 productions a year, sometimes maybe it's happening
too much too fast. It's too much too fast. If you told me, listen, Sam, you have this amount of money and you have to and I need you to turn around and do 8 plays a year, well then shit, I'm not going to be able to do what I do. There's no way. There's literally no way.
Because the turnaround would be too fast.
The quality, it's that horse drawing that is epic. You know that horse drawing?
Yes, right. Yeah, the horse.
You pay me and you say, oh, I want you to draw me a horse. Well, I'm going to start drawing you. Like, it depends. What's your budget for the horse? It's going
right.
to, what's your budget for the horse?
How much time? How much money? Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. But I mean, that's, I guess,
start off looking great, but then it's going to look like a cartoon.
And I guess that's how we're different. And we modeled ourselves after the Steppenwolf Theater Company in Chicago, which started as a group of actors in the 70s. It was a group of acting students that got together and they were passionate and they just wanted to just do material. So they would pick up a play, they would pick up material, they would rehearse it, get together, and one of them would direct it. And these are people like Gary Sinise and Laurie Metcalf and John Malkovich, like people that we know today. But back then they were simply acting students. No one knew who they were. And they got together and did this. Malkovich, believe it or not, was the one that directed, which must have been
And here's the thing, without me, right? Like if this was you, probably, maybe I messed things up. And I say mess things up. I don't mean by mess things up, but like you wanted to just, let's do a theater, right? Let's just put on the best shows with the best actors, like, right? Let's just have fun and do that. Like I came in here like, yeah, but I'm going to build like a universe. Like, and so I complicated it a bit by.
Well, I don't think you complicated it. I think you made it better. And Steppenwolf did really nice sets.
Oh, they still do. They still do. They do incredible
sets.
But
that's what I'm saying. Steppenwolf is the one theater that I think does sets better than anyone else. And not including Broadway, not including where the big money is and where they're doing, like they have all these hydraulic sets and turntables and stuff that I'm talking in all of the smaller theaters across the U.S. It's hard to find one that's going to the length that Steppenwolf goes to. And so when we developed Theater on the Edge, it was based in Steppenwolf. For me, you're right. It was from the acting standpoint.
Yeah.
But for you, it was from the design standpoint. And we merged those together.
Yeah.
And created cinematic theater.
See, you and I never had a baby together. This is our baby.
This is our baby. And it is. But it's I have this passionate plea and I don't know, I need to get it out there somewhere, whether it's on this podcast or maybe I need to write a book about it. I don't know.
You just need to write a book.
Yeah. Maybe I'll write a book about it. And, about where, because I just, what I noticed in a lot of theaters, and I'm not just talking here, I'm talking like in New York and off Broadway, like smaller community theaters, things like that, like everywhere. It's almost like, let's do this at its most minimal scale. We're going to put on a play, but we're not going to spend money. We're not going to, I remember, hearing a story coming out of, a local Central Florida theater who has a main stage, which is for musicals. And then they have a smaller stage, which is for non-musical plays. And for the non-musical play, the director's like, oh, I need some supplies and some this and some that. And the theater's like, okay, your whole design budget's $100. Like $100? Are you kidding me? $100? They're spending thousands upon thousands on their musical, but they're going to give this director $100 and the director had to spend their own money to put together a design to at least make this play work. And it was, and to me, that's where it's like they just, that lack of effort, that lack of caring, that lack of excellence.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I can guarantee you there's
I don't
a table with a board of directors.
Well, of course, but still, it's quantity over.
And the thing is,
we're all nonprofits, though. We're not here to make money.
But the problem is that the people that sit in these tables don't understand what it takes. And this is what you and I talk about all the time. Unless you're doing it, nobody understands what it takes to put up a show with quality. Like, people do not understand, not even our audience members. Like, they sit and they have an experience.
Yeah, no, I know the audience doesn't. I mean, I think the audience appreciates what we do, and that's reflected in their reviews. I think they appreciate it because they can see the difference and feel the difference. But you're right. Knowing what goes into it, unless you're part of the design team or
are production. We wear a lot of hats, and that's why we understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't understand, so they don't care.
I think our current production team probably has the closest insight to it. Who is awesome, by the way. Our current production team is amazing, and helps us get everything done. But
you know me, like and it's not like I'm working with a big budget either. I'm constantly, like, even in my personal life, I always tell everyone, thrift everything except your underwear and food.
Right.
Everything. Yeah. Thrift everything. I am 100%. I believe that you should thrift everything except your underwear and your food.
Yeah.
So I'm all about being thrifting and budgeting and being frugal.
So I guess this all comes back to the fact that just what we try to do within Theater on the Edge is just have a quality of excellence. I always say, I want someone walking out saying, this was equal to something I could have gotten in New York. Like, yeah, if I saw this in New York, it was worth $100 ticket to go see it. Like, I want that experience of walking out of our theater. I want our patrons to feel appreciated and almost feel like a VIP from the moment they walk in to their entire experience, the moment they walk out. And that's what we try to do. Yeah. And that's what, I know you work really hard at giving them that experience all the way through I mean, you don't just design the stage, you design the whole theater every single time, just to make sure it.
But even when they come in, like, I open the door. I want people to feel special.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people to walk into the theater and then they walk into a lobby of people chit-chatting about, I don't know. It's like, you know, I want people to have a great experience.
Yeah. An elegant experience.
Yes.
At a budget level.
Right.
Right. You can
like,
pay.
We don't have to pay
$1,000
or frou-frou. It's just, let's just put quality, like, love into quality, like, at a budget level.
which is an attitude, right? It's the excellence. There's a quote that I'd love to say in class. It's excellence is an attitude. It's not a skill, right?
Yes.
Or it's how we view things. It's not what we do. It's more of how we do it and the feeling behind it of what we want to accomplish. And if you have the attitude of excellence, then it changes.
It's really just about caring.
And I want that level of caring. I want to see that more in theater.
Yeah.
Not just putting on a production and trying to make money back. And, again, we're nonprofits.
Right.
What are we making money for? I know we need to make money to be sustainable and we need to make money to put on the next production. Outside of that, what are we making money for?
Right.
And I like some of these bigger theaters, I don't know. I mean, I know they have people on payroll. I guess they got to make money for that. They have people, I don't know. As far as I know, most community theaters, actors aren't getting paid. The creative staff's not getting paid. So that's where I have issues with it. It's like, listen, and I don't care if there's no money involved at all. Put everything you have into it. Put that level of care, like Sam just said. The caring, I think. This is your baby.
This is your baby.
Like, really treat it well and put everything you have into it and care for it and love it. And it just pushes you a little bit further.
I treat the theater like my hairy shrine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime I have a little couch.
It's a whole Harry Styles thing.
Let me explain.
Okay.
I have a little couch and then there's a Harry blanket on that couch. And if my dog gets up on that couch and moves that blanket a little bit, I fix the blanket. That blanket must always look a certain way.
It is pretty funny.
So that's the care. I may not do that with other things, but with that, I do. So that's how I treat the theater.
And I think that's how it should be.
It should be like that.
All right. We're going to leave it there. I want to see if I can get to one question real quick, because I don't think I'm going to get to all three unless I do them rapid fire, but I'll see if I can get to one. Or we can save until next time. It's up to you.
I think we should save the question. So, okay. We want to do one.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, we can absolutely save until next time, and we can do it on our next one, or we can do it because we're out of time. We have about 5 minutes.
All right. Is it appropriate for an actor to have a specific goal of wanting to work with your favorite actor?
A goal of working with your favorite actor.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. What I would say is you put that on your bucket list. I don't know if it should be a goal. And I have, I think words matter. And when you say a goal, to me, goal is okay as long as you're not synonymous with plan. Like, I don't want to have a destination. Like, I'm only going to be happy if I work with Denzel. I'm only going to be happy if I work with, whatever. And I think that, if you're putting yourself there, it might limit where you're going, like limit your path and being open to things. I think a bucket list, like, it'd be really cool to work with Zach Braff one day or something, like it'd be really cool.
But the question is it appropriate? I think maybe they don't want to. Maybe they don't want to cross the line because they're a fan of this actor, so they don't know if it's appropriate or not. Like, I'm such a fan of this person. Oh,
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Noah, God, I would love to work with Sir Patrick Stewart one day, right? So is Noah appropriate? Yeah, I think it's perfectly okay to have that, but you just don't want to go all fan crazy when you're in front of that actor.
Yeah. Right.
You have to check your crazy at the door and go in and just do like really good work with them.
Right.
But yeah, I think to be on maybe like your favorite show or something, it's like, I don't know, Grey's Anatomy, which is still on somehow. It's like, yeah, I want to be on that show. And then you're on the show. I think that's perfectly okay to do.
I don't think Grey's Anatomy is still on.
Grey's Anatomy is still on.
I don't think.
I
don't know anything about Grey's Anatomy.
The weirdest thing, I just found out about this. Grey's Anatomy is still on. I don't really understand the math, but it's still on. So, yes.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I was shocked too. But no, I think that's perfectly okay. Because, I definitely have actors that be like, oh my God, I would love to work with this person. I think it'd be so cool. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think it's fun too.
Okay. All right.
We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave the other two for next time. Okay. So the other two questions that we had for today, we'll leave for next time.
Yep.
But thank you. And keep submitting them. I'm going to update our website so we have like a form right there we can constantly submit. But
if not, send us some DMs.
Send us some DMs. We're on Instagram, Truthful Talk Pod, POD. You can find us there. Are we on anywhere else, or is Instagram the best place to find us? Instagram. So Instagram is the best place to find us. So go there, send us what you want to ask us questions.
Yeah.
Or
anything.
even send us topics, anything like that. We'd love to hear from you.
Or just say hi.
So, this was so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this with me again today. I'm
here every day with you, 7 days a week.
Yes, we do this every day in our own way. So we are now getting back to the theater. We have a lot of work to do in the next week, which we are very, very, very excited about. So please come out and see the show. We open next Saturday, July 5th.
July 5th.
We would love to see you there opening weekend. And then we'll be back with you again soon. Hopefully in a week, we'll be back on here with you.
Yep.
Doing this again. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to reward yourself for the risks that you take and treat yourself and others with kindness.
Yes.
All right, everyone. See you next time. Bye. If you'd like to learn more about what we do, you can find us online at truthfulacting.com. Or you can check out our theater at theaterontheedge.org, O-R-G. Hope to see you soon, either in class or at one of our shows.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.